What up, fight fans? This is Square Circle Productions going in with my new rant. This one is on the Black Murderers Row. Okay. The Black Murderers Row is a title that was given to a group of boxers by a writer named Bud Schulberg. The members were Charlie Burley, Lloyd Marshall, Holman Williams, Herbert Lewis Hardwick, a.k.a. the Coco Kid, Jack Chase, Eddie Booker, Aaron Wade, and Burt Lightail. Now, collectively, they were known as the most exclusive men's club in boxing. Because of their toughness and incomparable skill, they were ducked and avoided by the champions and top contenders of their era. They were so feared and avoided that they created their own tournament where they fought each other. The boxing equivalent of basketball's barnstorming. So, briefly, if you don't know what barnstorming is, back in the days in like the 20s, 30s, and 40s or whatever, when they was basketball was just really pretty much a new sport at the time. You would have teams, and what they would do is they would go travel and go to different cities, small like farming communities and wherever, and put on basketball games or challenge the local people or the local town's best team or whatnot. They would challenge them. This is something also what like the Harlem Globetrotters would do. Other type of teams, and they would just call it barnstorming because they would go from one small town to the next and create a buzz and a following. There's a movie, an old school movie called Bingo Long All Stars. With like Richard Pryor, Billy D. Williams, a lot of the top black actors during that time. And they were a baseball team, a black baseball team that would travel to different cities and play. They were sort of like the, I don't know what baseball's equivalent would be, but they were sort of like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. And then, bringing up to the more modern era, you would be looking like N1, like the N1 mixtape tour, where they had open runs, and then, they challenge, the N1 team N1 in an evening game inside the arena. So, but anyway, back on track with the, like I said, it was the boxing's equivalent of basketball's barnstorming. Okay, the members of the Black Murderers Row would face each other a total of 61 times. The majority of those fights were highly entertaining and instant classics. Sadly, none of them would ever get the opportunity to challenge for the NBA's championship. At that particular time, it was called the National Boxing Association. And their champions were recognized as the world champions at the time. The NBA would eventually become the WBA. And if you see one of my older rants, that's one of the main reasons why I consider the WBA, the organization when it comes to alphabet soup organizations. Although the WBC does have its stake and claim to that legitimacy as well. But, going back, if you really want to talk about linear or lineal or whatever, then, it will start going back into the WBA, NBA. But you don't have to hold that belt to be considered a linear champion. But in most cases, or me, as far as tradition goes, I tend to go with the old school. Especially if it's still around. Okay, but getting back, although they weren't truly recognized during their careers, they would receive the recognition after they had retired. They produced 5 Hall of Famers. Okay, and now briefly, that part is over with. I just want to talk about the Murderer's Row from a perspective of how this is an iconic um, thing, a unique thing that you will never ever see again in the sport of boxing. And the reason why I say that is because at that particular time there was only one world championship. And so, unlike nowadays where you have 5 major organizations that are world organizations, and 4 of them, 3, 4, you can look at it, you can make an argument for 5 if you include the IBO. But if you take the IBO out of the scenario, you still have the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO. So these are all world organizations. So potentially every weight class has 4 world champions. It's starting to get to the point where you probably won't even see too many undisputed champions, regardless of the weight class, simply because of all the politics in the game. One organization is going to want more recognition than the other one, and at some point will find some stupid reason to strip a champion of the title and then give it, someone else an opportunity to hold that title. Okay, but the fact that you have up to 4, possibly 5 world champions in each weight division, it's almost impossible for a fighter who was on the level with the level of skills that any one of the Black Murderers Row fighters possess. It's just highly improbable that they wouldn't get the opportunity to at least fight for a championship, let alone hold one. Okay, so in that sense, that'll never happen again. Now, will you get ducked the hell out of? Yeah. Will you be avoided? Yeah. Will, dudes try to, hold on to the title as long as they can and not really give you a shot, or make you fight a bunch of people till you finally lose and then, find some reason to not give you a shot? Yeah. But, it's just too many organizations out there now for a person to do that. Plus social media, whatnot. It's just so many ways for you to get recognized and put out there. To be honest with you, I had never even heard of the Black Murderers Row until like last year. The beginning or so of 2015. Just cruising on YouTube, I ran across it. When I found out about Charlie Burley, and because he's considered the top fighter in the Black Murderers Row, so he's the face of the Black Murderers Row. Okay, but like I said, I don't think it'll ever happen again in any time period. And had it not been for the fact that people like Bud Schulberg, who gave them the name Black Murderers Row, this era would not have discovered a lot of these fighters. Sugar Ray Robinson ducked 2 or 3 of them himself. So, we'll get in that later. I plan on doing videos on each individual member as well, brief videos. But share your thoughts, comment, rate, subscribe. Peace out, one love. Shots out to the BMR, Black Murderers Row. Never forget, 1.